Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Wednesday the 2nd of February. There's some things that I just want to update you on in regards to my reading. First of all, straight after Christmas, when you really shouldn't be buying yourself stuff, I decided to pick myself up the Percy Jackson series because I've been wanting to read this for ages, and I was like, just bite the bullet, just bloody get it. I read the first two books and I really enjoyed them. I preferred The Lightning Thief to The Sea of Monsters. I think that there was just more in it, and I guess because it was a new thing for me, you know, like going into the world for the first time. I can't wait to continue. I kind of capped off at the second book because I was like, just wait a little bit. So I may or may not finish this series this month just because, like, they're so much fun. The next update is that I got myself an iPad. This is my main reasoning to anyone that asks, not that anyone's asking. I can use it for notes at school. Very useful. I can use it to read. I can use it to do a digital bullet journal, which is something that I have also started and which I'm absolutely loving. So I've been reading books on this and I've been really enjoying it. I'm going to try and do this very quickly. At the moment I'm reading a thriller which is called Playing Nice, I think, by J.P. Delaney. I've seen this around a couple of times. It's just got a really cool concept. It's basically about this man who one day some people knock on his door and they're like, yo, the person who you think is your son isn't actually your son, he's my son, and you've got, no, and we've got your son. And then they have to try and figure out what they're going to do. Like, are they going to sue the private hospital? Are they going to sue the NHS? Like, how are they going to figure it out? Like, are they going to be in each other's lives? And it's just a very interesting concept. I'm also reading Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead, and that's by Emily Austen. Basically, this is just about a lesbian 20-something-year-old. She has this really bad problem with anxiety, and then one day she basically sees this advert for like an anxiety help group and goes there and shows up there, and basically it's a Catholic church and some man who I think is the priest of the church says to her, are you here for the job? And she's like, yeah. And then she basically ends up getting this job at a Catholic church, bearing in mind she is like gay, like very gay, and doesn't, like, she's an atheist as well. She doesn't believe in any kind of religion, so, you know, and she's just parading as like this Catholic assistant type person. Chaos ensues. Also the fact that she's got really bad anxiety makes her say and do things that she wouldn't have done otherwise. It's a really interesting book. I love the way it's written. I've just been really enjoying it, really. And it's really quick. It's like 250 pages and I'm halfway through, I think, and it's just really quick to read. So that's good. Third and final book I'm reading at the moment, Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee. Third book in the Greenbone saga. Under 100 pages in, so not too far. However, I'm enjoying it. We're doing a live show for this. I don't know if this video will probably go up before that. It's like the 28th of February, I think. I don't know. My brain's confused. There's also what I'm reading. High fantasy / urban fantasy. So it's, I mean, urban fantasy, but also like it takes the brain power of like reading high fantasy, if you get what I mean. But I do love this family. I love all these characters and just the story and the setting and everything. So I'm very excited to get further into this. Yeah. I've been talking for longer than I should have. I've really just hopped back into the way that I was before. I'll see you later. Right, I'm going to try and do a very short update. What I wanted to say first and foremost is that I finished Playing Nice by J.P. Delaney, and it was, I want to say, the best book that I've read so far this year. I wouldn't say personally it's like a favourite in terms of like what I like. It's difficult. There's two different like paths. There's the like me knowing that it is a good book, and then there's also like me personally really loving it, and that's kind of, I find the happy medium between the two. So I think like in terms of objectively, I think it is the best book that I've written. I think it is the best book that I've read so far this year. Subjectively, it is one of my favourites. It's definitely like top 2 or top 3. I just like, I need to have more perspective, so I'll wait a little bit longer and see. It's super easy. It's a great, I think JP Delaney is going to be an author that I want to revisit a lot, because it seems like the way that they write is like really easy to consume, which I always love, especially in a thriller, and that's why I usually pick up thrillers, is to have something that's easy to read. The concept, as I said before, is absolutely amazing, and I'm surprised I haven't like read anything like that before. There was never really any big big mystery that you're like waiting to find out the answer about. It was more so just following the story and then things like popping up along the way, which shifts the whole perspective. Going in, I did kind of already know like roughly what was going to happen. I kind of got the vibes. That didn't mean that I didn't enjoy it as much as I did. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if I have an idea of what's going on, just seeing the way that it plays out, like the way that it's written, is interesting for me. I think I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. I'm also at the moment kind of halfway through listening to Bastille's new album and I'm really enjoying it. It's got like those futuristic like Ready Player One kind of vibes, like plugging yourself into this alternate reality in order to escape the world. The way that it's written, there's always a lot of references to literature. It's the kind of music where I both love listening to the lyrics and like figuring out what the references are, but also like hearing the actual music in itself. Like, both elements of their music is so phenomenal and interesting and like fun to listen to. And like, I have moments where I'm like, oh, this is really groovy, and then moments where I'm like, oh, that's super. Like, the transitions in this album as well, I'm listening to all the songs back to back, and the way that it moves from one track to another is like phenomenal and amazing and smooth, and I love it. And anyway, I'm gonna go now. What was I gonna say? I just got back from my lecture. It's raining. I look like a drowned rat. I mean, to be honest, I look like a drowned rat most of the time, but like that's besides the point. As I did say before, I finished that one book, Playing Nice, that's what it's called. So I decided to pick up Stay Gold by Toby McSmith, and I did this for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's got LGBTQIA plus representation, so of course. And second of all, it's kind of, I think it's like a contemporary romance kind of thing. It's February and I wanted to read more romances, and I wanted to make sure that not all of them were like cis-het romances. I don't like this angle. There'll be no bad days. My hair is a mess. What the fuck is that? Hello. It's Saturday today. I, like as per usual, don't really have much to do this weekend aside from the usual like just loads of little bits that I usually don't end up getting done because I can't really figure out how to do things. Last night, I finished Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead, and I gave it 5 stars. This is the first book that I've given 5 stars this year, which is a big difference to last year, in which the first book, I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure the first book that I read got 5 stars. This book, just, I don't think I can formulate words for it. I think it's going to take a little bit of time, but it's not for everyone. I will say the writing style is very unique and one that is not like commonly used in books, I don't think, at least. It like kind of, the words that were coming to my mind were like stream of consciousness-esque, but the only time that I've ever really known stream of consciousness to be used was in Mrs. Dalloway, I think it was, and that was when it was kind of like transferring from one person to the next with like a really smooth perspective shift, whereas this one is the same perspective always. But I say stream of consciousness because it's like there's no definite like understanding of like, this is a scene, this is the next scene. There is more so in the beginning, and then as the story goes on, it kind of just all blurs into one, and we're just following the like thoughts. And I feel like it does kind of represent like her slow spiral into like depression and anxiety. And I mean, she has all these things to begin with, but they just kind of become like more of a burden on her as time goes on. As someone that's like never formally been diagnosed, or as far as I'm aware had like anxiety disorder or depression, I feel like it's really difficult to actually like know where the border goes because they're such big spectrums. But someone that's never been formally diagnosed with that, there was a lot of things in there that like I could relate to, and a lot of quotes. And I think also the characters like outlook on life and outlook on the world and outlook on people, like humanity, it's very similar to mine. She's got a lot of very very, what is the word, cynical, I think that's the word I was looking for. It's very cynical, the way that she looks at people and the way that she describes them. And yet like there's this one quote that is, I thought, just summed everything up really well, and kind of is how I feel about people as well. She just feels like her life is very insignificant, and she feels that, like she really feels this insignificance, and at the same time like simultaneously she feels everyone else's life, like everyone around her, even things that we wouldn't think of as having a significance, like rabbits or dogs or cats or something like that. All these other people and things she sees as having this massive significance, and like if they were to disappear then something would happen, but if she were to disappear then nothing would happen, if that makes any sense. And like I kind of feel that. I mean, I'm a very introspective person, I think about things a lot. Like I do get that feeling of just like I'm just a tiny little speck of dust on this rock. Anyway, that being said, I finished that book. I gave it 5 stars, first 5 stars of the year. I then decided to pick up Wicked As You Wish by Rin Chupeco. This is some kind of like fairy tale retelling kind of thing. I think it's like a mixture of loads of different fairy tales. And we follow a main character who, I believe her father is a Scotsman and her mum's side of the family all come from the Philippines. I did read like 2 chapters or something like that. It seemed alright. To be fair, I was very tired when I was reading it, so it's definitely going to get better. I think most books usually do. And I'm going to continue reading Stay Gold because I'm really enjoying it. I definitely need to make a dent on Jade Legacy though, because I have not read very much of it, and I don't know, I feel like for some reason whenever I start reading ebooks I just continue doing that. It's so easy to just like finish an ebook and then get another one and then finish it and then get another one. Woo, 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 woo. Anyway, I'm gonna go because I'm feeling like really just disheveled right now, and I just need to sort myself out. I've still got Christmas decorations. Oh my god. I wanted to give you an update on Stay Gold because that's what I've been focusing on today. That's actually the only thing that I've been reading today. And I am definitely over halfway through. I think I'm like 150 pages into it. I could be completely wrong there, but I'm definitely over 100 pages into it. I know that for a fact. And I'm really enjoying it. It's just super cute, and it's also just really interesting to read, especially because the author is also trans. Being able to read from that perspective and knowing that it's been written by someone who's also experienced similar things. Obviously, like, it's not a universal experience, but it's like very similar for a lot of trans people. I've been highlighting some of the things that have something to do with, like, I don't know, like the trans experience, I guess. Like the whole situation is basically he's trying to go stealth, so like he's trying to pass as his gender and not tell anyone that he's transgender, and he's trying, and not like that obviously comes with its own set of barriers and like difficulties and stuff like that. He feels a lot more just accepted and free because like other people seem to just view him as, you know, just a man, and I mean that's what he is. The thing is, if this wasn't an LGBTQIA plus book, like if it didn't have those elements to it, like honestly it would kind of mean nothing to me personally as a book. I just think that like I'm not one of those people that just like reads cutesy romances. Like there has to be another element, and this is the kind of element that I usually look for. Something that like it's exploring a topic that is not usually explored by the vast majority of authors, and now it's being explored, and I feel grateful for the fact that I live in a world where that is possible, to be able to read books about people that I do not personally identify with. So there's from 2 perspectives. There's from the main character who is the trans man, and from the like his love interest who is a cheerleader, and it's from both of their perspectives, but they're both equally just really funny, and like they have this like really great banter where it's like as soon as they start talking everything just like clicks into place. It's not like one of them is awkward or something like that, which is really refreshing because there's usually an awkward character, and it's usually like the case of the popular person is like really suave, and then the new person or the not so popular person or whatever is like really awkward. Like as much as I can't relate to the suaveness and like the being able to just instantly talk to someone, it's nice to be able to read about it and not just like be cringing all the time at like, oh, why'd you say that? That's really all I have to say for now. I don't think I'm gonna update until tomorrow because I just like it's getting grey. I feel kind of icky. It's Sunday today. I'm gonna end the vlog here because well, actually no, first of all I did want to say that last night I finished Stay Gold. I ended up giving it 3 stars, like mainly because as much as like it's got some very important topics that it covers in it, I don't know, it just very much read for me as like a very nice contemporary with obviously some issues in there, and it was like I don't know, I'm not a massive YA contemporary romance. Like if I read romance, I usually want it to be like more adult romance. Also, there were some things that I was not too keen on, the way that they were like discussed and stuff like that. I mean, it was mainly one thing. It's the kind of thing that like can be written about in many different ways and can be discussed and can be thought of in many different ways, and like everyone's open to having their own opinion. But I personally felt like there was way too much pressure being put on the main character when it comes to being open about his identity as a trans person. There's people like in anything, you know, like in any kind of like part of identity you could have. There are people that are very, very open and loud because that's just naturally who they are, and there's people that are more quiet, and it's like, it's not necessarily because they're not proud of who they are, they just don't feel the need to go around and tell people, and sometimes it's just easier, especially when like something such as being transgender can literally get you like beaten up and killed. Someone should have the right to decide not to, you know, go around telling everyone. If that's how they feel and they don't want to do that, then I think that's totally their choice. So like that was something that could definitely have been talked a bit more and handled maybe a bit carefully. That's just my opinion. Obviously I don't have these experiences, so I can't say what's good or what's not. That's not down to me obviously, but that's just how I felt. Like I just in general, the whole like having to be proud about something and having to be loud and like shout it and, you know, like show everyone and like have this pride and everything, no matter what it is, it's your choice whether you are that way, if you're open and loud, or if you're more of a quiet person that doesn't really say much about it. Anyway, that's just what I thought, and that's the only reason that like I ended up putting it down to a 3. Also because there was nothing in it that made me like particularly like love it, but it was a sweet story and it was nice to read, and I like at the end, you know, got those like warm fuzzy feelings because like something nice happened at the end. So I am gonna end the vlog here because I think finishing 3 books in this vlog was pretty good. If you want to see more of my videos, make sure to click the subscribe button, and I will see you in my next one.